A lot of Battlefront 2 players don't remember this very basic feature of the game or just choose to stay away from it. Hey everyone, it's Andrew, and I'm talking about first person. Yes, simple common knowledge, right? But barely anyone plays the game like this. I personally have never played Battlefront in first person, I'm a third person kind of guy, but recently I've been playing a couple different FPS games and was like, wait a sec, Battlefront 2 has first person. So here we are. I spent one afternoon playing like this, and now I'm going to tell you why this is an experience you need to have. So playing in first person turned out to be more immersive than I ever remembered, and a unique experience which I hadn't really had before in this game. In a lot of ways, it feels like another different version of the game we've been playing for a few years now, and it definitely plays quite differently to when you're in third person. But that's not how it felt from the start. To begin with, it was honestly quite frustrating. A lot of people say the reason they don't play in first person is because you have a smaller field of view. You can see the difference here. You're losing about 1/5 of your screen when switching to first person, and in the beginning I was noticing this made a difference with my visibility. I wasn't seeing enemies I would see in third person. I was being killed easily and felt like I was at a disadvantage. I also couldn't necessarily see around myself as much and couldn't see around corners, but this all changed the more I got the hang of it. I'll get into that soon. Another thing that was frustrating early on was getting stuck on rocks and environmental parts of the map. Because when you're in first person, you're generally not looking down at your feet. I was finding it hard to navigate my way around certain maps just because there was so much to trip up on. And then because I wasn't moving fast enough, I'd get killed. The amount of rocks I was getting caught on Yavin 4 was ridiculous. I literally could not walk 5 meters without getting caught up on something. Also, Battlefront 2 doesn't really have a climbing system like other FPS games which allow you to easily scale walls by pressing the jump button, which I think is just part of it being designed primarily for third person. So getting stuck on rocks I couldn't see and couldn't scale over was quite frustrating. I was actually surprised a few times where I thought I'd be able to jump over a rock or onto another level up, but couldn't. But again, I did get the hang of moving around once I'd stuck with it a little longer, and movement became much more free-flowing. After I'd played for about 40 minutes, the movement felt natural, and I realized it was more just that adjustment period that was frustrating. But I feel some people might never get past this initial period, might switch to first person, keep getting stuck and killed, so they just switch back to third. But if you stick with it, this will become much more natural, and you'll have a much better time. Trust me, I've got some stuff to show you very soon. Now, a lot of people also say you're at a disadvantage in first person because you can't see around corners like you can in third person. Again, at first I was really struggling with this, especially because it felt like almost all the enemies knew where I was, and I was having trouble finding them with my limited view. And I was so used to seeing around corners in third person playing this game. This was especially the case in tighter sections of the maps where you'd have to peek around corners to see the enemies, and for me to do this, I'd have to move at least halfway out of cover. But as time went on, this became less and less of an issue. Again, the more I got used to first person, the more I felt I was playing a full first person shooter game, and my ability to shoot enemies while not getting myself into trouble wasn't an issue, which was when playing in first person really started to elevate the whole Battlefront 2 experience. I'll get onto that real soon. Things got really fun. And the same went for the actual gunplay. At first it felt quite sluggish, and I wasn't feeling the accuracy or speed I was used to in third person. But as I stuck with it, my play level in first person lifted to match my regular Battlefront 2 abilities. But it felt like experiencing the game from an entirely new perspective. I tried to use a wide variety of weapons to get a sense of how different this game could feel, and what I think was most fun about this was seeing all the different guns up close. I got to really observe the detail DICE have put into the weapons, the way they feel and look. And that's the other thing, a lot of the weapons actually feel quite different in first person, and not in a bad way. In some ways, they feel more satisfying to fire just because you're seeing them up close and actually watching them fire, rather than watching your entire trooper from third person. Also, it feels like the sound is enhanced because you're closer to the weapon. Well, it felt like it was for me anyway. A few of my favorite weapons in first person were the Droid Heavy's E5C. No other gun in the game sounds and feels like this gun. Very satisfying. Also, the Stinger pistol, funnily enough, was lots of fun to use. I like that it looks similar to Padme's gun on Naboo. Always loved how sleek this gun looks. And also the Imperial's DLT-19X. I've actually never properly played Battlefront 2 as a sniper, but was finding this much easier to do in first person. And then you've got your classic weapons like the E11, which really fulfilled that Stormtrooper roleplay. The A280C for the Rebels, and also the Clone's classic DC-15A. Using each class's actual weapons increased that sense of immersion. I felt like I was actually just another troop among the ranks. I also loved seeing the yellow stripe of paint on the clone's arm from the skin I had selected. Sure, I'm not seeing the entire armor as I would in third person, but this is a little detail which I feel enhances the experience. I just found out these yellow 327th Star Corps clones are actually the ones who execute Aayla Secura as part of Order 66 on Felucia. Not sure how I feel about wearing this anymore. Heavy stuff, you know? Now, let me tell you how forcing myself to stick to first person enhanced the Battlefront 2 experience in ways I wasn't expecting. I found playing in first person to lead to some really intense Star Wars moments. Because you're looking down the sights of your gun and are locked into your trooper's perspective, you get that elevated sense of immersion of being in the Star Wars world and feeling like you actually are that trooper running around the battlefront in a galaxy far, far away. There were moments I had where I was so caught up in playing as that clone trooper, defending my clone brothers, or fighting as a stormtrooper to weed out that rebel scum. One particular example of this was on Hoth. I hadn't played this sunset map in a long time. This is in Galactic Assault, and my god, it's stunning. The lighting and color of this map really blew me away, but the thing is, I've seen it all before. I played this map heaps of times when Battlefront 2 first came out. What's different was that I'd never played it in first person. In Galactic Assault, you get to play 2 rounds of the same map, one from each side. So the first map, we were the Empire invading the rebel base, chasing our walkers up the hill towards the rebels, eventually moving into the tight indoor hangar section. Then we were the rebels, desperately trying to stop the walkers from invading our base, picking off stormtroopers from the top of the hill. The experience of playing these maps in first person, feeling like you're actually in the battle, may have been one of the most immersive experiences I've had in this game. And I was noticing things I'd never noticed in Battlefront 2, small design details added by the developers. Look at the way the snow gently falls over the map. Look at the beams of orange-pink light projecting out from the sun over the map. Look at this Tauntaun's face. Another great first-person map and experience I had was Naboo. I think what's great about these maps is there's a weight to the outcome, like if you win or lose, there's gonna be severe consequences. On Hoth, I felt like I was trying to stop the Empire from taking another rebel base, stop them from squashing more freedom out of the galaxy. On Naboo, I felt like I was defending the city and its people from being overrun by an endless army of merciless droids. I've never fully felt those things before because I've never played this game in first person, and I really feel like this map throws you right in there. Right from the start, you're firing at the enemies from way across, and you can see just all the blaster bolts going everywhere, and then it moves into that much tighter corridor shooter later in the palace. Playing from this perspective makes you feel closer to the action. You're no longer a spectator watching your clone trooper run around the battlefront, you are that clone trooper. Honestly, had such a great time playing this, and just watching the footage back makes me want to jump back in for more. And in the end, it really did feel like another layer to this game which I'd never fully explored. You'll notice more of what's around you, more of the the environment and worlds you're playing in. And I do still honestly wish that some of the reinforcements had a first-person mode, but seriously, for what it is, first-person, you should go try it. It's a lot of fun. I'd love to hear if you're a third or first-person kind of player. Which do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. And for a detailed history of how Battlefront 2 has evolved into the game it is today, go watch this video. I think I'm going to go back and play some more Galactic Assault, revisit some of these maps I haven't played in a while and see them from a new perspective. Lots and lots of fun. So thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew, I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.